this is how we're going to work our scale steps. We're basically going to take the right hand scale in this pattern. And then we're going to add left hand patterns to that. Alright? So first off, you're going to know the scale. It is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So make sure it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Think of that. Cross under in there. I'll assume you can figure out the scales because this kind of isn't an intro to scales. It's kind of an intro to putting scales to something else. So if you don't know your scales, work on just the scale to begin with. But then once you got that, we're going to put in these patterns. So pattern 1 is just whole notes on the 1 chord, whole notes on the 5 chord. So that's left hand pattern 1. Eventually we get the quarter notes on the 1 chord and the 5 chord. 1 chord, 5 chord. So that is what our right hand's doing and our left hand's doing. Now after we get that stuff, we want to start to break out of the key. So we're going to bring it into the G position. G, key of G, key of D, and key of A. And there's all the same fingering, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Except some of them have sharps. But again, this isn't really about knowing your scales, that's other videos. This is about putting your scales to the steps. So, if you don't know those scales, look them up or... Yeah, look them up! Jerks. I'm sorry. Sorry. Alright, so... You want to just be able to play those scales pretty easily. And then we're going to start putting in the left-hand progression. So that's going to be, again, a 1 chord or a 5 chord. And you can do it with all those same rhythms. So in the key of G, the 1 chord and the 5 chord. So they could be put in the G scale. Okay. And then the key of D, we'd have a 1 chord and a 5 chord. So that's how this works. That's step 1 for the left hand, but I have a whole bunch of other steps. I have like a whole lot. And they're kind of categories of things that work together. So these work together, just block chords, but eventually we'll go into like octaves and fifths. So like the key of D with some of the other patterns are like this. That's how we're going to get involved with some other left-hand patterns to the same idea. So we're going to be mixing around our keys, and we're going to change our progressions while we change those patterns in the left hand. So yeah, dig through these, start going through them. Make sure you work at it with a metronome or a drum beat. That was like 100 on the metronome. And once you get those smooth for those keys, then start putting into the other patterns. Good luck.